Michael and Emily had been married for 9 years. They lived in a small town in Oregon, where everyone knew each other's names and stories. Michael worked as an architect, often bringing his sketches home to show Emily, who had always been his biggest supporter. Or at least, he believed she was. For years, their marriage seemed peaceful. They had a rhythm: morning coffee together, dinner by 7, movie nights every Friday. Michael often told his friends he was the luckiest man alive. But life has a way of testing even the most stable foundations. One spring evening, Emily told Michael she was pregnant. His eyes lit up instantly. They'd been trying for a child for years, and the news felt like a miracle. He picked her up, spun her around, and whispered, "We're finally going to be parents." For weeks, the house buzzed with excitement. Michael painted the nursery himself, built a wooden crib, and planned baby names. But slowly, things began to shift. Emily grew distant, often lost in thought. She was unusually protective of her phone and avoided conversations about doctor visits. At first, Michael ignored it. He didn't want to seem controlling. But one day, he noticed something strange. Emily's prenatal appointment dates didn't match what her clinic reports said. When he gently asked about it, she brushed it off with a nervous laugh, saying she must have mixed up the dates. That night, however, Michael's gut told him something was wrong. A week later, while doing laundry, he accidentally found a small envelope in Emily's coat pocket. Inside was a receipt from a private clinic dated months before she had even told him she was pregnant. His chest tightened. Why would she hide this? He didn't confront her immediately. Instead, Michael decided to confirm things quietly. The next day, he called the clinic and asked if his wife had been a patient there. The nurse, after a moment of hesitation, confirmed she had, but under her maiden name. Michael's hands trembled. That night, he sat in his car for hours before walking inside. Emily was on the couch, watching TV. When he finally asked her why she'd gone to a clinic without telling him, she froze. "It was just a checkup," she said. "Nothing serious." Michael wanted to believe her. But deep down, he knew something wasn't right. Months passed. The baby was born, a beautiful boy named Oliver. Michael's heart melted when he first held him. But somewhere deep inside, a whisper of doubt lingered. After 2 months, Emily's behavior grew even more distant. She avoided intimacy, kept late hours, and became overly defensive. Michael, torn between love and suspicion, finally decided to get clarity the only way he could: a DNA test. He hated himself for even thinking of it. But one quiet afternoon, when Emily was out shopping, he carefully took a small hair sample from Oliver's baby brush and sent it to a trusted testing lab. The next 2 weeks were the longest of his life. When the results arrived, Michael's world stopped. The test confirmed Oliver wasn't biologically his. He sat in silence for hours, staring at the paper. His heart raced, his mind spiraled, and every memory, every "I love you," every promise, replayed like cruel echoes. That night, he packed a small bag and left the house without a word. For 2 days, he stayed at his friend Jake's place, trying to breathe through the pain. He didn't want to lash out. He didn't want to destroy everything in anger. But he needed justice. Instead of confronting Emily immediately, Michael planned calmly. He began collecting evidence of her deception: texts, clinic records, and her secret messages. Once everything was documented, he contacted a family lawyer. The confrontation came one Sunday morning. Emily was at the kitchen table when Michael walked in with a folder in hand. He placed the DNA report and the printed text messages before her. She went pale. "I trusted you with everything," he said softly. "But you couldn't trust me with the truth." Emily broke down, apologizing, begging him to keep it private. She admitted that during a difficult period in their marriage, she had made a terrible mistake. The man she'd been involved with had left town, and she thought she could hide it forever. Michael didn't yell. He didn't throw things. He simply said, "You made your choice. Now I'll make mine." Over the next months, he filed for divorce quietly. The court ruled in his favor, and Michael walked away without bitterness, just clarity. He refused to raise another man's child under a lie. Emily moved away shortly after. Years passed, and Michael eventually rebuilt his life. He focused on work, therapy, and volunteering at a local youth center. He found meaning in helping others who'd gone through betrayal and loss. One afternoon, as he watched a group of kids playing soccer, a woman named Sarah approached him, a social worker who often coordinated youth events. They became friends, then partners, bonded by shared kindness and honesty. When Sarah once asked about his past, he told her everything. She didn't judge him. Instead, she said, "You didn't lose, you learned what love truly means." Michael smiled. For the first time in years, it wasn't a forced smile. He realized his revenge hadn't been in hurting Emily, it was in proving that truth, peace, and kindness could rebuild what lies tried to destroy. By the time he married Sarah, Michael had forgiven the past. Life had come full circle. He often told young couples during counseling sessions, the worst betrayal isn't being cheated on, it's being lied to. But healing begins when you stop letting the lie define you. And that's how a man who once lost everything found peace, not through vengeance, but through quiet strength.